In Lakeland, Florida, a man kills 4 people, one of them being an infant, and also shoots an 11-year-old girl multiple times. Sickening. It says 4 people were killed, and an 11-year-old girl was shot. Polk County Sheriff's Grady Judd said that the shooting took place at 4:30 a.m. in 2 separate houses on the same property. He also said 2 separate shootouts occurred in a short order between law enforcement and the suspect. The suspect being Bryan Riley, 33-year-old man of Brandon, Florida. Riley was shot once and surrendered shortly after. He said Lakeland police and troopers from the Florida Highway Patrol were also involved. No law enforcement officers were injured in the process of this. After Riley was in custody, police discovered an 11-year-old girl who had been shot multiple times, as well as a man, 2 women, and an infant dead. Officer also said Riley was a Marine Corps veteran and served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He spent 4 years in the Corps before being honorably discharged. He then spent another 3 years in the reserves. He worked at ESS Global Corporation, providing executive protection and security. According to his girlfriend, who he lived with for 4 years, Riley had PTSD and was depressed but never violent. She said he worked security at a church in Orlando a week ago and came home saying he could speak directly to God. The officer also said Saturday evening, Riley was in North Lakeland and saw a man mowing a lawn and stopped and told that man that he needed to speak to the man's daughter, Amber, because God warned him that she was going to commit suicide. But the man and the woman at the residence told Riley there was no one there by that name. So his PTSD, he might have never been violent, but something triggered him and he began to snap as we listen to what's going on. The incident was reported to the sheriffs, and a deputy went to the neighborhood at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, but Riley couldn't be found. Riley's girlfriend later told detectives that Riley returned home that evening and told her God gave him a vision that the man's daughter was going to kill herself. 9 hours later, a lieutenant about 2 miles away heard 2 gunshots from the area of the original call. And we know the original call is where he saw the man mowing the lawn and said that your daughter was going to commit suicide. So the officers heard gunshots in that area of that house at 7:30. And at the same time, 911 calls began coming in of an active shooting. When deputies and law enforcement arrived, they saw a truck on fire and a popping noise coming from the front yard. As they approached, they found an individual who was totally outfitted in body armor and looked as though he was ready to engage in an active shootout situation. They said the man that was in the body armor ran back into the house, and deputies heard a gunshot and a woman scream and a baby whimpering. The lieutenant tried to enter the house, but it was barricaded. He then went to the rear of the house and entered, where he exchanged gunfire with the suspect before backing out of the house. 3 deputies at the front of the house were pinned down by gunfire from the suspect, and another agent on the scene opened fire to help the deputies get to safety. Shortly thereafter, officers said things went silent and the suspect came out of the house with his hands up. He had been shot once. The suspect was taken to Lakeland Regional Health Medical Center for treatment. While being treated, the suspect jumped up and tried to grab the police officer's gun, and they had to restrain him in the emergency room. Authorities on the scene entered one of the homes, and that's where they found the 11-year-old girl shot several times. Because remember, it's 2 homes on the property. The girl told deputies there were 3 people in the house. Deputies found Justice Gleason, 40 years old, along with a 33-year-old female and a 3-month-old baby boy, deceased from gunshot wounds. When deputies went to the home behind that house, they found another woman, a 60-year-old grandmother of the 3-month-old boy, shot to death. Wow. The sheriff's office didn't name any victims except Gleason, whose family agreed to release her name. The other ones wanted to keep the family's name private, and I don't blame them. The 11-year-old girl was taken to the Tampa hospital for treatment. The authorities were still searching for another 10-year-old girl, but there was no evidence that she was on the scene. Riley, the ex-military murderer, he told detectives, "They begged for their lives, but I shot them anyway." Detectives said what I say, he's evil. And this incident matches the worst mass killing in Polk's history that dates back to 1997. And it's sickening to hear, family. People are snapping. We have to watch them. We have to watch their mind state. You have to watch how people move out here. We never know how people are going to move out here. People move in weird ways. You have to pay attention to the way people are acting when they're around you, when they're amongst you. If you come to my house and tell me, "Hey, I think your son's going to commit suicide or go on a killing spree," I'm going to be like, "I don't know how you think that. You don't even live here." And now I'm going to have my awareness on super high. Now we're going to have to be watching out for you, making sure you don't pull back up. And that's what you have to do, family. You have to check your mental. You have to check other people's mental as well. You have to protect yourself from the chest up. That means your heart and your mind at all times. We have to be aware, 360-degree awareness. At the beginning of the year when I started doing videos, I said 2021 is going to be a year that we will not forget. It's going to be an unforgettable time. And it just came to me in the spirit. Just something just told me that. Just like, it's going to be terrible this year. And it, as I'm saying it, it's actually being that. But, you know, all I can say is, hey, y'all stay on your awareness. Stay on your 360-degree awareness. And if you have to double it, 720 degrees awareness. That's what we have to do. Pay attention at all times. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch the people on the outside and watch the people on the inside. And with that, I'm going to say, this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali, intersection in Backstreet. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.